And I hope you're having a great start of the day. I decided that today is the day where I'm going to announce something that is very important to me. I've uh, I've done this more for me than for anyone else. And for those of you who are new in my community, that this is the first time that you're listening to me, my name is Rita Hausken, and I am a thought provoker, and I love to be in thought provoking conversation. I am particularly helping women and female leaders who have visions and is just ready to step it up and create impact and work on their legacy. And what I want to share about today is something that I want to share is Im- about impossible goals. And I am known to be a person that take on impossible goals or visions. I believe firmly that, just like Audrey Hepburn said, is that when you see the word impossible, I get to choose to read it as I'm possible. Saying that, having impossible goals or visions is can be quite daunting, but it's necessary to create big things, to allow big things to happen in your life. And in order for you to create that level of impact that is needed, we want to look at what is impossible. And today I want to share how I moved towards my impossible goal that happened last year. You see, when Benjamin died, triggered by COVID on the 24th of March last year, I knew what I wanted to do, but it felt just so incredibly overwhelming to think about what I wanted to do. It felt seriously impossible to even get to it. And it has felt impossible throughout these 10 months. And it wasn't out of practical terms. It wasn't because it was impossible to do it. No, it was even worse than figuring it out how to do something. It was, how do I create space for it? How how do I create this from a place of lightness, joy in the midst of grieving? So for me, what felt so incredibly impossible was, how can I possibly shift my emotions into being able to do what I'm going to do? I knew that I had to take on Benjamin's legacy, that legacy of that living a happy life surrounded with people with high level of mindset, to be surrounded by people who literally only sees opportunities and obstacles, that leads to the results that we once would consider as impossible. That legacy of showcasing that it is possible to do the impossible when we are surrounded and we're coming from a place of happiness has been just so important. And for Benjamin, the legacy he left and the proof he left was to live a happy life until he was 27 and a half instead of 7. And it took a lot of impossible thinking and turning obstacles into opportunities to make this happen and to allow it to happen, because we also need to allow it to show up in our lives and stop controlling and trying to control things. So over these months, I have allowed myself the space to grieve, go into that dark place, and also give myself the permission to understand and feel that grieving is also an incredible source of creativity. It might sound really weird, but it's the truth. When you allow yourself to go down there and you are observing it, you're starting to see that you have a clarity that usually in the day-to-day life you don't get access to, because we are just so in our own thinking, in our own tiny little details that we believe are so important, but actually they are not. They are actually holding us back. So what is it that I have done? Well, I did create very fast, a very quick, a fundraising organization called Benjamin's Think Tank, which is driving money in to help other fundraising organizations that have a mission to help children with rare genetic disorders. So that is ongoing. It's also a place of where we get together, we communicate, and we look at the so-called impossible cases, and we look at it from different angles to find solutions. I have then created a place for us who firmly believe that one of the most valuable gifts we can give each other are basically our stories. Stories connects us and they bring down barriers. Stories, they give us the permission. They give us the permission to step into another person's world. And when we're stepping into that world, we feel as we are one. You see, when we are in there, we seek the same. And in these stories, it's about we seek to feel happiness. And now we unite in doing everything possible for this happiness to come true, right? So I am therefore very proud to say that Benjamin's Think Tank, the podcast, has now been released. The first episode has been launched. And for me, it's a milestone. For me, it has been important to do this and to see that in 10 months, through trusting the process and knowing that focusing on Benjamin's legacy, without knowing how I would create space and find emotional capacity to do it, that by simply saying to myself, you really want to do it, trust the process that the right time is going to be when it is the right time. And you're going to feel it because it's going to feel like joy, happiness. It's going to feel light. And that's what happened. That's what happened. So I managed to sit down. I managed to start the first episodes. Today I'm going to release it to you. Currently it's only on Spotify because I haven't figured out yet where to and how to put it on the other places. But it's a milestone for me. And I say that if we can do something for one person in our life, it is worth it. And when I say I did it and I do it for me, sometimes it's easier to do it for others than yourself. So when we're doing it for ourselves, it is actually to take it one level deeper. So I hope you will enjoy. I hope you will follow the podcast. I love to hear from you. It doesn't matter whether you are in a situation with a child of having a rare genetic disorder or not. I believe that the message that comes through this, what Benjamin taught all of us, is valuable for each and one listening into this. Going forward, you will hear me interview researchers, doctors who believed in the impossible, who have made a shift, who have changed everything, whilst the rest of the world said that is impossible. Don't waste your time on that. And I really know that that is going to inspire all of you. And I invite you into listening. So with that, I wish you a lovely, lovely day. And I love to hear from you. Bye for now.